Are you guys ready to learn about the ultimate funnel? Are you sure? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are, get up off your feet and welcome to the stage, Dean Holland.
Wow. He made it sound so much better than it is, by the way, just so I don't disappoint. So thank you so much, guys. It is amazing to be here in this room. I came out for the sound check yesterday, and I stood here without any people. I was like, oh, crap, this is a big place. So a wise man once said to me, if you ever feel intimidated when you're on a stage, just look out and imagine everybody's naked. So good to meet you guys. And my promise is, by the end of this presentation, in the short time that we've got, is I'm going to have 3,000 naked people up on their feet. So you guys can enjoy that with me. So when Russell first messaged me, I was in Seattle Airport. I got a message on my Voxer. It was like, Dean, do you fancy coming in doing a presentation at Funnel Hacking Live? I was like, let me think about this for a second. Yes. And one of the things that I thought, well, I need to come here and inspire and motivate, because it wasn't that too long ago when really I was completely struggling. Like, you're just one funnel away, seemed like light years away. Anyone understand that? And so I thought, what can I do to inspire and motivate every single one of you in the room right now? And here's the unique angle I came up with. How to get rich online and be completely miserable without showering, getting dressed, or loving your spouse the way they deserve. Told you I'd bring the goods. But I'm then going to show you how to do things the right way and discover how to attract your perfect customers for free and systematically turn them into your dream clients and repeat customers for maximum impact and profit. Does that sound a bit better? Woo! So rather perfectly timed, almost like it was put together well, this presentation follows perfectly onto what Russell was just showing you guys. Because I don't know about you guys, but I was incredibly excited when he starts breaking down the numbers, and all of a sudden things make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you spend so much to get that customer, and that customer becomes worth more to you, and now I've got a business, right? Does that make sense? So that's really any of us, that's what's going to separate you from struggling or losing money to making a profit. And what I'm going to walk you through is, like Devon said, a simple process ultimately, and my intention is to make it simple for you, whereby you're one funnel away, but within that funnel, because I got the ultimate funnel, right? I'm keeping hold of that claim. There is funnels within the funnels, okay, but simple funnels. And actually, when I piece it together, you'll see that there are many people around you, many of which you've just been listening to, that use the ultimate funnel with incredible, incredible results. So before I introduce you to the actual ultimate funnel, exactly what it is, I want to tell you about a time before the ultimate funnel. You see, I actually quit my job to do this stuff full time way back in 2009 now, but a few years ago, on the outset to everybody around me in my life, you would say that everything was perfect, everything was amazing. My business was generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and on the outset you would think I had it all. You know, great family, lazy dog, nice cars, nice house. Like, on the outset, you would think, oh, he's got it all. But on the inside, this is what I was doing every day. I was miserable. And I'd just lay there on the sofa. I couldn't bring myself to actually sit down at the computer. And what was worst of all is I didn't quite understand why. And one of the things I can share with you all, although this isn't the motivating part of my presentation, is that it is actually possible to make a heck of a lot of money and be miserable. And for me, that was a really scary thing, because 6 years previous, I was in my mid-20s, over $60,000 of debt, and I had no idea if I would ever turn that around. And all I was striving for was to have more, to turn that around, to make more money, to live a better life. But I wasn't able to do it then. And when I did do it, and I was doing it for years, and like I say, making millions of dollars, which is amazing, and having all this impact, but I was almost depressed. I was like fed up. Something didn't feel right. I couldn't bring myself to continue operating my business. And I realized that I'd ultimately lost my passion. And this is probably the scariest thing that's ever actually happened to me. I don't know if there's anybody in this room that can relate, but actually, The strange thing is in life, in the world in which we operate in now, is you generally only see the 5% of the amazing part of everyone's day-to-day on social media. Nobody shows you the 95%. The running to rush out the door and banging your toe on the door, or cracking your knee on the table as you're running past and your day spiraling out of control, all those little stupid things. Nobody talks about like the things that go wrong in a day, right? We log on Facebook and we see that 5% that people want you to see. And so I felt completely alone in this situation. Now, I'm going to tell you just very quickly how I realized now, looking back, that I'd ended up in that situation as a funnel hacker. So here's how to get rich and be miserable. Step number 1, think of an idea for a front-end product that you think the market wants and needs. That's what you do first. You build a funnel for that offer. Thankfully, we can do that really quickly now, so we can be miserable faster. Then we get some traffic to that thing, and if we've done everything correctly, we can start making sales, getting customers, and then develop them through the business and ascend them through, like Russell's just been showing, to sell them more and more of our next stuff. Now that looks okay, but here's the big problem in what I've just showed you, where you start by thinking of an idea for a front-end product that you think the market wants and needs. Because when you start that way, you can actually end up in a terrifying situation like I did, where you find yourself serving the wrong customers. Now, you can make a lot of money serving the wrong customers, but I guarantee you, I promise you, you will end up miserable in the long term. So I want to employ every single one of you to do things differently to what I did. Because I'll tell you this, there is nothing worse than losing your passion for your business. You know, hands up if you're passionate about doing this stuff right now, and that's why you're in this room. You love it, you're passionate about it, whilst everyone else says they're working every day, we're doing what we love every day at the computer, yes? You don't want that to go wrong. And it can go wrong by attracting the wrong people into your business. It's like hanging out with people you hate every single day. It's no fun. Remember what Kaylin said yesterday about how you get to choose who comes into your club? Well, I chose the wrong people. They made me lose my passion and hate life and sit on the sofa miserable every day. And so I had to get some help. I became a damsel in distress. And I had to find my knight in shining armor who presented himself. Sorry, ladies and guys, I'm not available. What can I say? Should have seen the day we were putting that together on Photoshop in the office, people walking in like, what on earth goes on in this place? You see, when we look at a value ladder, we look at it from the first step. And the first step begins towards the front end of the business. And as we go up that ladder, we go towards the back end. And it makes logical sense, right? But the problem is, if you start planning and building your business that way, you'll end up just like I did, working with the wrong people. And so the key is to actually start your planning and building with the back end in mind. You start with, where do I want to take people? And then when you know that piece, then you can work towards the front to figure out what's going to attract those people. So if I know that my ideal customers of this end goal thing up here at the top of the ladder, or midway through, wherever you want to look at it, if I know who's that going to serve, and who that's going to help, and who that's going to make an impact on, now I know who that person is, now I can figure out that front product. Does that make sense? Because if we start working on the front end product first, by the time we get to the back end thing, which may mean for some of your businesses, they're going to work closer to you, maybe if you have a coach or a consultant, an expert of some kind, if you're bringing in the wrong people through the front, you're going to have a lot of pain in the back. And you might make sales, well, you will. You're going to make money, but who wants to hang around people they hate all day? Not me. So you need to get super clear on exactly who you want to serve, and then you can deploy the ultimate funnel. So does everyone want to see that now? Woo! Good. So the ultimate funnel is ultimately made up of 3 different parts. Now, the first part is the customer acquisition part of the process. Now, obviously, in the limited time I have here, we can't go into the whole how-tos and all that kind of stuff, but the good thing is I'm going to tell you the resources that probably every single one of you either have on you right now or back in your room, no doubt, to do this. So the customer acquisition funnel that I'm going to say that you should seriously try and find to deploy in your business is a free plus shipping funnel. Russell's just been talking about his numbers and showing you with his stuff, right? And he's had multiple of these. I don't think he's doing too bad. So can we say they work? Now, why a free plus shipping funnel, though? Well, I've had many different types of product as a customer acquisition product. I've had digital products that are just purely downloadable. We've actually also got another business that's more e-commerce in the makeup and beauty space that my amazing fiance over there runs. And I can tell you categorically that in comparison with a digital downloadable product, nothing competes in terms of conversions and bringing a higher volume of customers through that front door than a free plus shipping. I'm talking about the difference of going from 1, 2, 3% to like 8 to 16% from the same amount of traffic. So it's a big, big deal. Now, I don't know about you guys though, but when you see Russell talking about his free plus shipping funnel and you see that, how many of you think, well, that's great for him. He can write a book. He's this big expert. He can bring 3,000 amazing people together in a room. But me, I got no chance of writing a book like that. Anyone think that kind of stuff? It's kind of intimidating when you see it, right? It's like you think, it needs to be the world's most amazing thing ever seen, like .com secrets or expert secrets. And it can make you think, I probably should do that later on. Well, I had the same feeling too. And so I had to figure out an easier way, like a simpler way to create free plus shipping offers. And so you've got multiple options, and these are just kind of the areas that I look at, okay? So the first one is like a print book. Now again, I've actually got a print book, but I didn't want to spend like 10 bajillion years like Russell did, so I took my perfect webinar, I sent it to rev.com, I had it transcribed, and then I went on Upwork, and I gave it to like an editor, and they made it sound like a book instead of a webinar. We had it printed. I had a book. So you can make it easier than what it might seem to some, okay? Now a video. How many of you in here have videos, like a digital product of some kind, like a tutorial or a video course? Raise hands. Yeah, me too. My first free plus shipping product, do you know what I did? I took those videos, I put them on a USB stick, a flash drive. Now I've got a free plus shipping product. Now instead of getting 1 to 2% people buying that digital product, now I had 8% plus people ordering the free plus shipping product. Exact same thing, repackaged in a different way, 4 times as many customers from the same traffic. And also a physical product. So we do this stuff, like I say, in e-commerce, things like that. And I can show you a couple of examples. So this is actually one of our USB sticks, it flash drives. So it's just got it's actually a 60-minute presentation of an on-stage recording presentation I did, similar to this. I just took that recording, had it put onto a flash drive, and there we go. It goes into this nice, fancy-looking case. Now all of a sudden it looks impressive. It was just a video. For those of you with e-commerce businesses, perhaps you're saying, well, maybe this stuff doesn't apply to me. So the makeup and beauty brand, one of the most competitive markets, arguably, that you could ever try and tackle. And I know what you're thinking. Obviously, I'm in makeup and beauty, but it was pretty difficult for us initially. So we did a free plus shipping offer. We have these makeup brushes that come in from Alibaba, from China. We have these made. They cost about 63 cents. And we bring in buyers. We give those away. Thousands and thousands of buyers entered the makeup and beauty market. Took it to like $50,000 plus in just a few months. That's doing that in very minimal hours. So what I'm showing you there is like how effective this stuff is and how probably most of your businesses could apply that exact same methodology to bring more of your ideal customers into your business. So the actual structure of the free plus shipping funnel then, well, obviously we're all funnel hackers, so we go through people's funnels and we hack them. Well, I'm just going to give you the structure that works. So you don't have to go through my funnels and all that kind of stuff, although if you want to, they're great products and you should. So the two-step free plus shipping funnel, free plus shipping order form, okay? Just like Russell's books, so you can look at expertsecrets.com secrets, same thing. We have that first step, then the second step with the order bump. Then our structure in which we do things is to have 2 upsells and a downsell, okay? And then the thank you page. So this is just the structure we use with every single funnel, and it works. It produces the numbers, it achieves that average cart value that you're looking for. If it's not quite there, just do some of the stuff Russell said, right? So for us, we have $97 is generally what I always price upsell 1. Upsell 2 is $297. The downsell, if they say no to that, is a split pay. So half now, half in 30 days. I do that with every single funnel. It works, so I don't have to keep changing it. So that's part 1. Basically, acquire customers using a free plus shipping funnel. Everyone make sense of that? Good. Part number 2 then, so the next part. Now we've got the customers. So we know these are our ideal customers because we planned from the end destination or further on into the funnel, and we work towards the front. So for example, just to spell that out easily, we figured out, well, why do we want these women that we're going to sell all this stuff to? We got these makeup brushes, but where were we taking them to figure out that a makeup brush would be a good thing to attract them? Well, we had this membership site, and we're working towards a subscription box. So, okay, who's the ideal customer for that? We figured it out. We came back and we said, right, a makeup brush would be a good thing for us to try. Okay, so it's all about that bait, that first thing. Same as a lead magnet that you'd give away for free, but we're actually qualifying a buyer with it. Does that make sense? Because they're pulling out their card. Even though the product's free, they're pulling out their card to cover the shipping. We've qualified a customer, a potential client, maybe further into the funnel, depending on what your offers are, and we've brought them into our business. Now they're through the front door. So the next step then is ascending them, right? Because here's the reality. I only ever aim to break even. If I do better than breaking even on the free plus shipping offer, like Russell was when you saw his numbers, then great. But if I can acquire customers for free, then I'm going to do that all day long. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm looking to do. So the next step is then to ascend your customers to the next thing. And Russell mentioned it briefly, but the first thing that we've started doing now, and Russell and I have had a lot of fun over the last 6 months going backwards and forwards, trying to beat each other with our different strategies and things around this and how we position this. But we call it the thank you page webinar, okay? And the simple thing with the thank you page webinar is everyone familiar with Russell's perfect webinar structure? Yeah, well, here's the cool thing. I don't have to go into what that is too much because essentially what we're doing is we're taking a webinar presentation and we're putting it immediately on the thank you page because here's the difference. What a lot of people do when they get customers, they rely on following up with them through email to tell them about the webinar. Anybody doing that right now? You're relying on that follow-up process. Well, are 100% of people opening your emails? No. You're losing a lot of people in that communication channel. But other than the small percentage of people that will drop off on like upsell 1 and 2 because they're like, oh, I don't even want to look at this, they close it off. Most people, nearly 100% of your customers are going to land on that thank you page. It's the most underutilized page, I believe, in every single person's funnel. What other page could you ever say after you've got a buyer, everybody nearly is going to see it? The thank you page. From the moment you get a buyer, drop-off starts instantly. The thank you page is the most exposed page in your whole funnel to your qualified buyers. You need to do something more with it. For us, our next part of the process is a $3,000 offer, and to do that, we get them on the phone. So our process is this thank you webinar presentation. At the end of that, we get them to fill in an application, and we get on a call with them. That's how we do it. Think about how you would apply that for your business, physical product businesses. Well, what is that next thing you want to sell? That's all you're asking yourself. What is the next thing that I have to sell? Present it immediately there through the use of like a perfect webinar presentation. Now, the only thing that differs in this, I don't know if you picked up on this with Russell, is that we don't do it through a slideshow presentation. We actually do it on camera. Well, I've been doing videos for years, so I'm comfortable and confident enough to do that. If you weren't, then there's nothing stopping you just using your normal presentation. The only thing I would recommend if you're going to do that, though, is the way in which you start it. Because this is why I think this presentation and this positioning of this works so well, is this first line.
So don't go anywhere. Let's start your training right now and keep moving forwards to your goals.
Let's start right now. So think about it. Somebody's just ordered .com secrets. They want that information. They want that training. But they know they've got to wait for the book. So what we say is, well, while you're waiting for the book, let's start your training right now. Now, the clever psychology behind that is, oh, this is part of my product. This is part of what I've just purchased. So we've got their attention because the customer thinks, well, this is part of what I've just invested in. I better pay attention. Very different to the whole, oh, I've got a bonus webinar for you as a new customer. What does that scream? I'm about to sell you something. What this screams is, this is part of what you've just bought. You better pay attention to it. Otherwise, you're just the kind of person that spends money and wastes it. One simple line. Let's start this training right now. Okay, so the Ascension funnel looks like this. The thank you page webinar. For me, because it's an application, they watch that presentation. It's around about 60 minutes or so. At the end of that, the button appears underneath. So that's just on a time release thing through the ClickFunnels settings. They click a button. They go to an application page, similar to Russell's coaching application funnel he just went to. And immediately after filling that out, we send them to what we call like the homework page. It's basically like a bit of bonus training and social proof testimonials, things like that. But just apply that to your business. You might not be doing coaching. You might not be doing applications. You might have a physical product. You might have other different things. Whatever it is that you have, all that is saying is, what's the next thing I have to sell? Because what we're doing is we've acquired a customer here. We want to ascend them as soon as possible. There's no point hanging around. People are like, well, I'll send some value for the first week, and then I'll make them an offer. Well, guess what's happened after a week? You've lost 80% of attention, probably. We want to ascend them as soon as possible, whilst they're interested, whilst you've got their attention. That's what this does so incredibly well. And here's the thing. Another mistake I see a lot of people making is, as soon as they've got a customer, they say, right, on days 1, 2, I'm going to offer them this product. If they don't buy it, days 3, 4, I'm going to offer this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing. And they keep offering more and more stuff. What I've become very clear on is actually removing all the noise from my funnel and actually having less offers, but focusing on moving people through those steps. So I'm not going to keep offering you one thing until you've ordered this next thing. So I do follow up. But I'm keeping following up to get them to fill in that application for that same thing. I want to move them through my value ladder in the order in which I've laid out. I want to get them on the phone interested in that thing. And because I know that can serve every single one of my customers because I did things the different way. I started out with the back end in mind and I went forwards. So I know every single customer needs that next thing. It's like Russell always says, right? If you know that your thing can truly help people, it's your duty to make sure as many people get it as possible. So every email, every day, is pushing people to that next thing. Okay, and that's been a game changer again for us, keeping that focus. What is the next step? Because the only reason if you know you've got your ideal customers, the only reason for them not to take that next step is if you haven't done something right. That's the bottom line we've got to say here is, I obviously haven't overcome an objection. I obviously haven't answered a question they've got. I've obviously not explained it properly. So normally people put that ownership on the customer. Oh, they're just not interested. Oh, they're broke. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, it's not for them. It has to be for them because you know that they're the ideal customer because you started up here and you went backwards before you came up with that front-end offer. Does that make sense? So we've done the customer acquisition. We've done the ascension funnel. Now really, this is kind of like the smallest part of everything I want to say because this is really now the easiest part because by this stage, people have consumed or purchased multiple products from you by now. So this is all about what do we keep doing with those customers? Well, you should keep serving your customers because if you don't, somebody else will. That's an expensive lesson. So here's just an example. You're probably all familiar with this if you've seen this in .com Secrets. It's like one example of one of Russell's back-end funnel structures. So we all know in here that Russell doesn't just have .com secrets or expert secrets. He doesn't just have ClickFunnels. He doesn't just have funnel hacking live tickets. He has the certification. He has all these different things, the FAT event, the inner circle. And that's what you need to look at in your business. Not necessarily if you're not like in the coaching space, but you should always have more to keep offering. And as you can see, I truly believe that everybody's business in some way should have an underlining continuity to it. That's going to bring the sustainability, and that's going to bring that process into your business. So for us, it's just the same thing. Like, we have multiple high-ticket products. So we go from the free plus shipping to the next thing, which is to get on the phone for a $3,000 product, to then bringing people back onto the phone for a $6,000 product, a $13,000 product, and beyond. Okay, and it's really just about saying, okay, what's the next thing that my customers need? How can I help keep serving them to take them forwards? And just apply that in any kind of business, e-commerce, digital products, coaching, consulting, all that kind of stuff, right? So the ultimate funnel then. It's a free plus shipping funnel to acquire your customers. You need an ascension funnel to present the next thing immediately. Start moving them up. Don't wait, because you're going to lose. Every day that goes by, you start losing people. And then that back-end funnel. How can I keep serving my customers with more of what I've got? So in the last minute of my presentation, does everyone want to do a bit of a test with me to see how well the ultimate funnel works? All right, let's do it. Stand up if you've ever ordered one of these products. Huh? Interesting. 3,000 naked people on their feet by the end of the presentation. So you've all ordered a free thing and become a customer of ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson. Stay standing on your feet for me if you own ClickFunnels. Stay standing for me if you ever bought a ticket for Funnel Hacking Live. Smartest kid in the room, huh? Not. So what I'm illustrating here is, you all ordered a free thing. Now I know every single one of you in this room has spent at least $1,000 with this company. Interesting, right? Now we're going to see a bit of a drop-off. But stay standing for me if you've ever bought one of their premium products, the Fat Event, ClickFunnels Certified, the Inner Circle, or any of the others that have not even got listed. Okay, and while we're doing this exercise, I want everybody to keep looking around the room. We've still got a lot of people on their feet. So you guys that are on your feet, you've continued to pay this company, what, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000? I'm in my third year of the Inner Circle, that's $75,000. I'm still on my feet. Now, to everybody in this room, let me ask you this final question. Stand up for me if what you've received from Russell Brunson and his team and the experience they've given you since you ordered that free thing has given you such value and such feeling that you will want to continue to consume and purchase more of their products and services in the future. Now, not only do I have 3,000 naked people on their feet, ladies and gentlemen, look around the room. That is the ultimate funnel. Thank you.